Kai watches the carnage from atop the crumbling main mound. The air is thick with dust and the scent of crushed formic acid, the lifeblood of his comrades. Below, Goliath is a force of nature, a mountain of rage, his tusks dripping with the green hemolymph of slaughtered soldiers. Each stomp of his colossal feet is an earthquake, swallowing hundreds of ants at a time. The ground shakes, and another section of the outer wall collapses into a ruin of dirt and mangled bodies. Kai's antennae twitch, picking up the frantic, terrified pheromones of his people. He can hear their silent screams. His mandibles clench. This isn't war. This is extermination. His second-in-command, a young battle-worn ant named Flynn, scrambles up beside him. Flynn's right antenna is snapped, and one of his legs is twisted at an unnatural angle. But his eyes, his multifaceted eyes, burn with a desperate loyalty. "Commander," he rasps, his chemical signals weak with exhaustion. The last of the brood chambers has fallen. The Queen's tunnel, it's exposed. Goliath is heading straight for it. Kai doesn't look at him. His gaze is locked on the monster below. The plan, the insane, suicidal, 1 in a million plan, it's all they have left. Is the ground ready? His voice is a low, guttural rasp, a sound ground out by grief and fury. Flynn nods, a jerky, painful movement. The engineers confirmed it. Support twigs are soaked. The slightest pressure now. It'll go. But Commander? He's not going that way. He's heading for the Queen. He will, Kai says, a terrifying certainty in his tone. He turns to Flynn, his black eyes seeming to absorb all the light. "You have your orders, Lieutenant. Get to the rendezvous. Prepare the escape routes for the survivors, if there are any. But, sir, you can't mean to." Flynn's protest dies in his throat as he sees the look on CA's face. It's a look of finality, of a soldier who has already accepted his fate. "There's only one thing Goliath wants more than our Queen," Kai says, his voice dropping to a whisper. Me. He had been the one to lead the initial raid on Goliath's watering hole. It's the one who had stung the beast's eye, setting this whole catastrophe in motion. It was a desperate act to drive the elephant from their territory, but it had backfired spectacularly. Now, that personal vendetta is the colony's only hope. Without another word, Kai launches himself from the mound. He doesn't fall. He glides, using the wind currents from Goliath's rampage to steer his body. He lands on a vibrating leaf, clinging on as the ground beneath him heaves. He needs to get Goliath's attention, and he knows exactly how to do it. He scurries down the stem, his 6 legs a blur of motion. He runs past fleeing civilians, past the dead and the dying. He ignores the pleas for help, the sense of agony. There is only the mission. He reaches a pile of pebbles near the elephant's path. He spots it, a single gleaming white pebble, a piece of quartz. It's the same type of stone Goliath's calf was playing with, right before the unfortunate accident that started this all. With a surge of strength, Kai pushes the pebble. It's a monumental effort, but it rolls, clattering against other stones. It's a tiny sound, insignificant against the thunder of Goliath's rage, but it's enough. The giant head swings around. One massive bloodshot eye, the other a milky scarred orb, fixes on the source of the sound. The eye narrows. It sees Kai. Recognition and a fresh wave of fury ripples through the elephant's massive frame. Goliath lets out a trumpeting roar that splits the air, a sound of pure hatred. He forgets the Queen. He forgets the colony. He sees only the tiny creature that brought him pain. That's right, Kai broadcasts his own pheromones, a beacon of pure, defiant challenge. "Come and get me, you overgrown brute." He turns and runs, not away, but towards the hollow ground. The chase is on. Kai is a black speck racing across a canvas of chaos. Goliath is a tidal wave of destruction, leveling everything in his path to get to the ant. The ground trembles with each stride. Trees that have stood for decades are splintered and tossed aside like twigs. Entire hills of the ant colony are flattened into oblivion. Kai doesn't look back. He can feel the hot, foul breath of the elephant on his back. He can feel the vibrations in his very bones. He runs, pushing his body to its absolute limit. His legs burn, his thorax aches. He weaves through a maze of death and debris, a landscape he barely recognizes. He skirts the edge of a deep crater where the main food storage once stood. He leaps over a chasm that wasn't there a minute ago. He sees the hollow ground ahead. It's an unremarkable patch of earth, covered in the same dead leaves and twigs as everywhere else. But Kai knows what lies beneath. He knows the scent of the rotting wood, the weakness of the structure, meticulously prepared by his engineers. Flynn and a small band of soldiers watch from a high ridge. They see Kai, a desperate, valiant spark, leading the apocalypse towards the trap. They see Goliath, closing the distance, his trunk raised like a club, ready to smash Kai into a paste. He's almost on him now, Commander. Jump, Flynn silently screams. But Kai doesn't jump. He slows. He stops. He turns. He stands his ground, directly in the center of the trap. He raises his head and stares up at the descending mountain of flesh and fury. For a single, eternal moment, their eyes lock. In Kaz, there is no fear, only grim, resolute purpose. In Goliath's, there is only blind rage. The elephant's massive front foot, the size of Ka's entire world, begins its final descent. It is aimed directly at him. Kai doesn't move. He sends one last powerful signal. Signal not of fear, but of victory. A signal that says, for the colony. Then the foot comes down. There is a sickening crack, not of an ant being crushed, but of wood splintering on a massive scale. The ground beneath Goliath's foot gives way. The camouflaged lid of the chasm shatters. With a sound of shocked outrage, the elephant stumbles. His immense weight does the rest. The rupture spreads, the entire hollow ground collapsing inwards. Goliath bellows, a sound of surprise turning to sheer terror as the earth disappears from under him. His front legs vanish into the abyss, scrabbles for purchase with his hind legs, tearing huge gouges in the earth, but his own momentum is his enemy. With a final desperate roar that echoes across the ruined valley, the great elephant Goliath pitches forward and plunges into the darkness. For a long moment, there is silence, a profound, echoing silence, broken only by the distant sounds of the chasm swallowing its victim. Then, from the very edge of the newly formed crater, a tiny figure pulls itself up. Covered in dirt, one leg dragging, it's Kai. He didn't run. He had let Goliath's foot strike the ground right beside him, the force of the blow throwing him clear as the trap sprung. He staggers to his feet and looks down into the blackness. He can hear nothing. The threat is gone. Turns and looks back at the smoking ruins of his home. The cost has been immense. The loss is catastrophic. But they survived. The queen is safe. The colony endures. Flynn and the others rush down to meet him. They surround their commander, their chemical signals a mix of relief, grief, and awe. Kai ignores them. He looks up at the sky at the first stars beginning to appear. The battle is over. The war for survival has just begun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't want to miss our next deep dive into epic cinematic moments that could have been. Let us know in the comments what kind of story you'd like to see us tackle next. Till then, stay creative.